welcome. I'm Natya. I'll be guiding you through a yoga practice. You can do this practice at any time. You're welcome to do it in a way where you close your eyes because you're not feeling the greatest, and you just lie down comfortably or sit comfortably and visualize the whole practice. But if you're feeling up for some physical movement, you could also sit in a chair, and I will try and give you hints of what to do in a chair. But you might also come to the mat. Now, if you do choose to come to the mat, I will encourage you to have something like a bolster. Now, don't run away because you don't have one. Any type of thick cushions will do. You can roll up a blanket, you can use a mat and roll a blanket around that. So anything creative will do the job as well. You would then place that object next to your mat. I will also ask you to have one block or even 2 blocks. Now, still don't run away. These blocks can be replaced by thicker books, boxes, or anything else you might have in your household. So please do be creative as we approach this practice. Now, I hope you're wearing some comfortable clothing, and we will get ourselves started. If you choose to go onto the mat, you will come to lie down on the front of your body as we begin in a crocodile pose. Now, to rest your forehead on, I would ask you to either stack your hands or to touch your thumbs and index fingers together like so, and to place the forehead down into the triangular shape. So either this or the hands stacked and resting there. Now, if you are sitting in a chair, for example, I would ask you to just simply sit upright but lean a little bit back so you can relax your shoulders, and you would, if you feel like it, touch the hands here, but you might feel that's a bit heavy in the shoulders, so instead you might bring your inner gaze point to the forehead. Now, if you're lying down on the ground like myself right now, you would then touch maybe your big toes together and let your heels fall out to the sides. And I invite you to just feel into this. So how does this feel for you? Is it right or is it not? And if you feel you might want to try something different, you can widen your legs out and turn the toes outwards, so that you're basically resting on the insides of your ankles. As you come to rest in this pose, making sure that the arms are just softening away from you. So instead of bringing the weight into the arms and holding your upper body with them, just completely softening down into the ground. Of course, would you have your eyes closed? And from this place, I invite you in your current position to begin to deepen your breath. As some of you might not be familiar about breathing practices, we keep it simple. So I would ask you, as your breath is deepening, to keep it flowing in and out of your nose. And as you do, starting to feel how, if you're lying down, there is a movement into the floor, and you're feeling that, and the breath just wants to expand that little bit further. It starts by pushing down into the floor, but once you observe it a bit more, it begins to create space in the sides of your rib cage and maybe even along your back. If you are a quite experienced practitioner, you might want to add full yogi or ujjayi breath. Feel free to just leave the breath deep and full, and watching the expansion that there is created. And if you're sitting or visualizing, you might want to direct the breath into this area of the rib cage. and feel it moving as well. Allowing a few more breaths just within this shape. And I hope we will get the sun to rise for us. No matter what time of the day you will practice, bringing in the light, the energy of the light, and with that, the color yellow. And with the color yellow, we'll also bring in some inner power. So from your lying down position, I'd ask you to bring your feet or legs back to about hip distance apart, to slide your hands next to your rib cage, and then to push into the floor as you're rising. Now, if you brought something like a bolster, bring that in. If you don't have one, just come into a normal child's pose. So for the bolster, bring the knees out wide, push it in between you, and give your bolster a hug. I like to bring my arms underneath just to embrace it fully, and turn my head to my favorite side and close the eyes. And I invite you to do the same. Now, if you happen to be seated, and please don't make it a couch, if you happen to be seated and your spine is okay with it, you could lean softly forward. It might be nice to have a little cushion here for you as you lean forward, and basically do the same. Instead of embracing the bolster, you would embrace your knees here. Noticing how this feels for you, if it has anything to offer, such as a way to focus a little bit more inwards, as we're less exposed in comparison to the previous posture. And for another few breaths, you will turn your head to the other side. There's again a good softness around the upper body. And you could think about your back as a protective shield. And whatever is trying to intrude just rolls off the back. And that could be as simple as some thoughts that you don't want any longer. We will release from this posture by taking the bolster out to the side and by stepping up onto your hands and your knees. Now, if you're in a seated position, you might rest your hands against your thighs and move nevertheless. On a breath in, just lifting the tailbone and your gaze. And on a breath out, rounding into the back. Let's inhale to lift. And let's exhale to round. Now, as you're maybe seated, the hands resting on the knees, you will do the same. Open and then leaning a bit back. If you're still sitting way to the backrest, come a little bit forward in your chair. You breathe in to open and you breathe out to round. Now I invite you to move in different forms here. I call this one a slinky cat, and you could just move yourself around in a way now that suits you. So maybe there's some sideways movement or whatever feels right. Allow this movement to go for one more. And then come to sit. Now if you're in a chair, you've got an advantage. You're already sitting. If you're on the floor, you can sit down on your heels in this more Japanese style. Or you can use your block-like item and sit on that, and that might enable you to sit in an easy pose, which is really meant to be easy. So please do not force yourself into any type of seated position. You can even lean against a wall if you prefer. I would ask you to let the shoulders relax back into their sockets, to close the eyes if this is available to you, or to steady your gaze on a solid spot. The screen might not be the right one for that. So finding a solid spot or closing the eyes and keeping your gaze steady. We will draw our first sun around us as we take a breath in to let the arms reach out and then up. And then to bring the hands down into the heart space. We will make a sound here, the sound of Om, as we breathe in together and out on the Om, breathing in. We will take another breath in to reach the arms out and up again. This time we will fold the last 3 fingers, that's our little finger, ring finger, middle finger, into the palm of the hand. Join the hands, join the index finger and join the thumbs, and we will draw this down in front of our solar plexus instead. The sound here for the solar plexus area is Ram. I invite you to chant that with me. We'll breathe in and out on the Ram. Breathing in. Ram. Releasing the hands and with that the mudra. I will invite you from here to rise into a standing. If you're in a chair, you can still stay seated for the next few breaths. As we stand up tall and strong on both of our feet, helping us to become aware of the way we stand and hold ourselves, and with that getting a sense of feeling more grounded. So let's bring the weight down into the feet and our awareness into the soles of the feet. You might think about the feet having 3 points underneath them. 1 point on either side of the ball of the foot, so maybe in line with the little and the big toe. And then 1 point in the center of the heel. See if you can press down into these 3 points and engage with that into your feet, into your legs. Switch the glutes on lightly. And if your eyes aren't closed yet, you don't want to, that's fine. Steady gaze is good. Or closing the eyes. And finding your torso, hopefully feeling completely held and supported. I invite you from there to open the arms and turn the palms of the hands forward, so that the shoulders are resting gently in their sockets. As you are standing here now, tall and strong, steady like a mountain. Taking a breath in and lifting the arms back out and up, drawing this sun around you. And as you're exhaling, bringing the hands back down to the heart space. You can do so with your eyes open or closed. We repeat, lifting the arms, breathing in fully. And breathing out, the hands moving all the way through the midline. Let's do that again, breathing in. And breathing out. As you release your arms again down by your sides, you will stand closer towards the end of the mat if you're practicing this standing. If you can stand up from your chair, you might use the backrest of your chair for a solid standing balance and put one hand there if you need it. Otherwise, if you prefer staying seated, you could sit on the edge of the chair with one foot forward and one leg back. Now the couch here is a little bit low for that. So let us, in the standing position, start by stepping the left foot forward. Find a comfortable stance for both of your feet. The front knee would be in a bend, but we're trying to keep that in line with our toes, and hence we put that weight back into the feet. Now, as you are standing here, we will go with the empowering mudra of the Shivalinga mudra. I will ask you now to bring your right hand into a fist, but stick your thumb up, and to place your left hand right there in front of the navel and the right hand there on top. Now we will move this, so we'll keep this mudra, but as we breathe in, we will straighten the front leg, extend the right arm up while we're pulling the left arm back. And if you like, you can make a fist with the left hand. And as you're breathing out, bring a bend back into the knee and stack the fist of the right hand back on. Now we'll do that again. Breathing in, if you like, the gaze is lifting, and breathing out. Knees bending at the front. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release it in. Go for one more round. Then release the arms, step your foot back, or if you're seated, we will swivel around on the chair. Starting with the other side, stepping your right foot forward. And again, please have that gap between the feet so you're solid. Starting with the knee in a bend and aligning the knee with the toes. The back leg is straight and you're getting that sense of support again from the feet into the legs. This time we're making a fist with the left hand, poking the thumb up and placing the right hand in front of the navel so we can stack the left fist into the hand. Let's move in the same way. On a breath in, straighten your front leg. Reach your arm up, pull the right elbow back, maybe making a fist here. And then as you're breathing out, bring a bend back into the knees, stack the fist on top. Inhaling, extending, pulling back and reaching. And exhale to center again. 2 more. Breathe in. And a breath out. And 1 more. And a breath out. Releasing the arms again and stepping back, returning the body into a steady mountain pose. So once more, bring the weight into the 3 corners of each foot. Activate through your legs. Let your shoulders be back. And you would get that same sense of grounding through your feet in a chair. Eyes might be closed or the gaze steady. And I invite you now to draw the energy of the earth in through the feet as you're inhaling, and take that all the way up to the crown. And then as you're breathing out, let the energy wash back down through the body, down into the earth. Repeat this idea once more as you breathe in through the feet, right up to the ground, and then down from the crown, back to the feet. I would ask you to take a neutral breath in between before you're now drawing the light of the sun through the crown of the head as you're breathing in all the way down to the feet and lifting it from the feet with the out breath back to the crown. And do that once more, breathing in through the crown, all this sunlight down into the feet and lifting it back up as you're breathing out. And then just resting again in your mountain pose. As you blink your eyes open again, if you are in a chair, of course you stay seated. But if you are with me on the floor, I invite you to lie yourself down. Now, before you lie down completely, I will ask you to use your blocks. Now, you don't have blocks, don't worry. A rolled up cushion under the spine is fine as well. I will show you as I turn my back to you where to place this block. So this one will be placed roughly on the bra line and you will lie over it. So basically aligning the length of the block with the length of the spine. And to prepare that, you will place it like this on your mat. And then you would place the other block or another cushion right behind there, which you may or may not need. Now, for those of you seated, I will show you in a moment which movement is suitable there. For those of you lying down, sit on the floor, take your hands to this block, and as you're lying back, placing the block at the bra line, aligning the spine over it, and then using the other block as a cushion. As I said, this is not necessary. So if you're happy with letting the head fall back, you will get some extra bonus here by opening through the throat. Entirely up to you. Now, if you've done this nicely, you will feel your shoulder blades on the side of the block, and that's the purpose of it. We want to bring some space into the area of the solar plexus as well as up to the heart. So your choice here is now to keep your feet on the floor or even to extend your legs out long. And then in very slow motion, just lifting the arms up and then moving them back down by your sides. And you would do that a few times. Now, if you are seated, you might sit again towards the front edge of your seat. And if that's all right for your shoulders, you will lift your arms out like cactus arms. You would then move your shoulder blades a bit closer as you're breathing out and draw your elbows down by your sides. And you would breathe in to lift the arms. If you want to extend them, please feel free to go into the full range of movement. And I invite you also to continue that for a few more breaths. Once you have done a few rounds, let's rest for a moment in this open pose. And for those of you on the chair, I invite you also to allow the solar plexus and the chest to be fairly open, maybe with your arms resting a little bit back behind you. We will chant for 3 rounds the sound of the solar plexus, which is Ram. So we start with an in-breath and then on the out-breath chanting, breathing in. Ram. 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 And just allowing the sound to finish its vibration within the body. before you bring your hands in and slide your fingers underneath the buttocks. Now, if this is not possible for you to sit up and use your inner strength, please feel free to roll over to one side. I tuck my elbows in, lift the chin into the chest, and then push myself up. So this way I kept my spine nice and long. We will remove our blocks unless you will need one once more to come into a seated position. But before we come to sit, I invite you to roll right down again onto your back. Now, we are flat on the floor. If you are seated in a chair, please stay on the front edge of your seat. If you are in a chair, you will now extend your right leg, and we will do the same lying down. We will lift the leg upwards though. Allow your arms to be in a comfortable position, whatever that means for you. Maybe on a chair, you're supporting yourself with the hands on the seat. And we will start to point and flex the foot for a moment. To then hold the foot pointed and pull all of the 5 toes back, encouraging the ball of the foot towards the ceiling. And just noticing the sensations here in the leg. If you feel it could be nice, you can interlace the hands behind the leg and draw it slightly and gently in towards your body. Then release your ankle on top of the thigh and let your knee fall out to the side. You could from here lift your left foot and reach behind the left thigh or across the left shin, hugging both legs in towards your body, and maybe with that creating a little bit more space. The right elbow can be a guide for the right leg to open a bit more. If the holding still here is not suitable, you could gently and carefully rock a tiny bit from side to side, and you'd be surprised at how much tension you can find that is there for you to release. Let's step the left foot back to the ground and do the same with the right foot. Just let your feet land before rushing into the next movement. We will extend the left leg up. Now beginning to flex and point through the ankle, all the way into the foot, and then holding the foot pointed and only pulling your toes back. So as on the other side, the ball of the foot is pressing up towards the ceiling, and you begin to observe the sensations in your leg. Only an add-on, if you like, to interlace the hands behind the leg and gently bring it in towards your body. Still only doing what is really right for yourself rather than following all my instructions. Bending the knee now and resting your ankle onto the thigh as you let your left knee fall out towards the side. This is already plenty. If you want more, lift the right foot, reach for the back of your right thigh or your shin, and hug both legs in this form. Left elbow can be used to guide the knee further outwards. And you could then, if you really don't want to hold this still, bring in that tiny gentle rocking from side to side. It could be a micro movement really that gets you into more space. Then release your right foot down, your left foot down. If it feels right, let's extend the legs out. And you can do the same on the chair, stretching the arms up and having a big breath in before releasing. Wouldn't it be lovely to stay here on the ground? You could if you want to. If you're seated, please sit upright, but you could use maybe your little cushion in the lower back so you can still lean back and still keep your spine upright. If you can't sit on the floor, you didn't bring a chair along, you can stay lying down. Otherwise, roll over to your side and then gently bring yourself up into sitting. Now, I encourage you to find the most comfortable seat that you can have. Be this that you're moving against the wall and leaning against the wall. Have a cushion underneath you or a block or whatever gets you into this upright position. I will guide you through a meditation now, in which we will use one of the mudras or hand positions that we've practiced earlier today. I will explain it to you again. So what we will do is we will bring the last 3 fingers into the palm of the hand. So that is your little ring and middle finger. You will then join both hands together at the wrists, touching your index and your thumbs together. And then this hand gesture you will draw down, loosely resting there in front of your solar plexus area. Once you've got all of this, closing the eyes. And if you missed one of the instructions, I will repeat it once more. Folding little ring and middle finger into the palm of the hand. Joining the hands together at the wrists at all of these 3 fingers, touching your index finger and your middle finger together and thumbs together, and bring the thumbs right in between these 2 extended fingers. And then resting the hands in this shape in front of your solar plexus. You might want to move the shoulders a few times before you come into the stillness here. Eyes closed or gaze steady. This hand position also encourages the energy of the solar plexus, your inner strength, but it also helps with concentration. As you stay here and hold the mudra, take several natural breaths to attune to all the feelings and sensations evoked by this gesture. Notice how your breath is naturally directed into your solar plexus, instilling a sense of warmth and radiance. Take several breaths to sense this radiance more deeply, visualizing its source as a small flame at the center of the solar plexus, providing a natural point of concentration on which your mind can rest completely. Take some time to notice all the details of this flame, visualizing the gold and orange at its base, its luminous blue tip, and its gently curved shape. At first, your flame may waver and your attention may drift away.
If so, calmly invite your mind back to rest on your flame without judging yourself in any way. Take several breaths to continue this process, noticing that each time your mind wanders and you bring it back gently, your level of concentration deepens naturally. As your concentration deepens, your breath becomes slower and more serene, allowing your mind to rest on your flame effortlessly. Thoughts may still arise, but you simply allow them to come and go naturally while inviting your awareness back to your flame, gently but steadily. As your awareness rests on your flame more easily, your mind gradually becomes centered and serene, allowing you to experience greater harmony. With greater harmony, you enter into the stream of meditation effortlessly. With your mind calm and serene, repeat the following 3 times, aloud or silently after me. As my mind rests one-pointedly, I experience deep inner peace and harmony. As my mind rests one-pointedly, I experience deep inner peace and harmony. As my mind rests one-pointedly, I experience deep inner peace and harmony. Relax your hand gesture as you might place your hands into your lap or onto your knees. You might still notice the effect of the mudra, the hand gesture, and the meditation that came along with it. If you enjoy what you're feeling right now, I invite you to move into your own meditation directly from here, or to lie down on your back in a restful pose and follow the flow of your breath through the nostrils as you lie in Shavasana. If for you it is time to move into your day, you might stay seated, bring the hands to touch together at the heart space, and gently bow it to yourself at first for taking this time for your practice, for taking good care of yourself, and also to acknowledge this space within us in which we can stand in our power, connected to our hearts. We will extend the awareness to everybody else. Namaste. And anyway, I thank you very much for joining me If you would like to practice with me again, I've put my details into the posts that will come up on the side, and I would love to see you in one of my classes, or maybe joining me for a private session, resolving some of the things that sit with you. You're welcome to do any of that. You're also just welcome to contact me because you've found you've got a question about this practice. Every contact is much welcome. I thank you for joining me.